When you go into Facebook to set up a new sales campaign, what you will see in the bottom here, if you have the campaign budget optimization ticked on, which is now called the Advantage campaign budget, you will see that you have campaign bid strategy in the bottom here. Now, as you can see by default, it's the highest volume or value that is set as default. And this basically just means that you allow Facebook to use as much of your budget, as you put here, as they want in order to get as many conversions with the highest value possible. So you're basically allowing Facebook to just go for this and use all of your budget. You don't have any control over what the actual results are going to be. If you look at Facebook's perspective, or Meta as they now are called, this is obviously making a lot of sense. This bid strategy is the one that's going to make them as the company the most amount of revenue. If all of the companies advertising on Facebook has this bid strategy set on, they're going to make a lot more money because the budget that you set here, Facebook are free to use all of it every day if you have it on daily budget. And if you have the lifetime budget, Facebook are free to use the lifetime budget as they want. So they're going to use all of it. But if you choose any of the other campaign bid strategies, you are going to have much more control. So unless you have the time to go into your campaigns every day and check the results and update your budget and how much you want to spend and turn on and off your ads, well, then I think highest volume or value is not going to be the best bid strategy for you. There are other options that are going to give you more control on the actual results you're going to get, so you can have control over how profitable your campaigns are going to be. For my clients, we always usually use cost caps, which are now called cost per result goal, or bid caps. Now, there are some big differences between cost cap and bid cap. And as you can see, I'm now inside Meta's bid strategy guide. So this is their own guide. As you can see here, if you don't want to have any control of the cost, the default bid strategy is going to be lowest cost. And this is highest volume, highest value. Now, if you want to have some control, the default is going to be cost cap, or what is now called cost per result goal. The more advanced bid strategy is called bid cap. Now, for my clients, we use both, and it depends on the client. Most of the time we use cost cap, but sometimes you also use bid cap. And I'm now going to explain the differences and in what scenario we choose which one to use. So when we use cost caps, the results usually fluctuate. So they go up some days and down some days. So you're not always every day going to be at your cost goal. But if you look at the data over time, you're going to average out and you're going to be very close to your goal and probably just at your goal. Now with bid caps, it's going to be a lot different because here you're not valuing volume as you do with cost caps. You're just telling Facebook, hey, if you think we can get into an auction and win and get a conversion below our bid cap, then we want you to show our ads and spend our budget, but only then. So as you can see, in this case, Facebook actually has to make some predictions based on the data to figure out if it's going to be likely that you will be able to get conversions at your cap. Now with this bid strategy, it's really hard to get your campaign to actually spend unless you already have some momentum with your campaigns or you have a lot of data in your account. So with the clients where we use bid cap, we usually start with lowest cost or highest volume as the bid strategy. Then we build up momentum and we get a lot of data into the campaign. We let it run for a while. And then we switch over to bid cap. And we usually put the bid cap a bit higher than what we actually want because we want to make sure that the campaign doesn't stop spending and we lose all the momentum. But that is the scenario where we use bid cap. Most of the time we actually use cost caps because it's just easier to get campaign spending and get momentum. So how do you figure out where to put your cost cap or your bid cap when you want to use cost control bid strategy? So I actually made a Google Sheet calculator that you can use. So I'm just going to use this now as an example. So the first thing you want to do is look at your average order value. And I would recommend that you look at a pretty long time period. So the last 90 or 60 days or even longer, and look at what is your average order value. So just to keep this example pretty simple, I'm just going to put in $100. So let's say we run an e-commerce store where every order on average is worth $100. And let's say 50% of those $100 are actually costs related to that order. And based on that, you will see here that you will have some CPA targets. CPA stands for cost per acquisition, so the cost it takes to acquire a new customer. So as you can see, based on just the AOV, you can spend up to $50 to acquire a customer. If you use $50 to acquire a new customer, you're obviously going to break even on that customer. So you're not going to lose money, but you're not going to make any money either. Now, if you have a higher lifetime value, so let's say you bring in a new customer, they spend 100, but within 60 days they come back and make more orders, then you're going to have a higher customer lifetime value. So let's say the 60-day customer lifetime value is $150. Well, then based on your margin, you can spend up to $75 to break even. Now, obviously, as a business owner, you don't just want to break even. You actually want to make money here. So if your customers don't usually come back after the 60 days and you don't have a much higher customer lifetime value after those 60 days, then you shouldn't use the 75 as your target. You should just have it as a max cap so you don't lose money. So make sure that you don't misunderstand me here. This is not your target. This is your max cap. So you don't want to spend more than this because then you're going to lose money. Over time, obviously your goal on your target should be to get it much lower than 75. This is just a cap you want to put on the bid strategy to make sure you never lose money. So once you calculated this, hop back to your campaign setup, go to campaign bid strategy and select cost per result goal if you want to use cost caps. If you want to try bid cap, feel free to do that. Most likely, if you don't have enough data and if your bid cap is lower than what Facebook think they can provide to you, well, then your campaign is not going to spend. So in that case, you either have to increase that bid, or what I would do is switch over to cost per result goal or cost caps. So select, and then once you've done that, go into the ad set. This is where you're going to set the cost per result goal. So in our case, it's going to be 50 USD. The currency for this example account is in Norwegian kroners, so don't get confused by that. And make sure you have conversion event select at purchase. Okay, so now we're telling Facebook, hey, our goal with this campaign is to get as many purchases as possible, but we want them at maximum $50 per purchase. Okay, and once you set that up, you can go ahead and set up your ads and publish the campaign. Now, one of the biggest issues that you're probably going to have with this, if you start using cost control as the bid strategy, is getting your campaigns to actually spend and get to the volume of sales where you want to get to. Now, my philosophy around this is that it's better that your campaign stops spending your budget at an unprofitable rate instead of having it spend and you get volume, but you're not being profitable. So if your campaign is not spending as much as you want, what you have to do is improve the ads, improve the targeting, or improve the offer. This is where you need to optimize, okay? So the consequences of testing out a new offer or launching a new campaign is not going to be losing money anymore. It's just going to be you not spending money. And in my opinion, that's going to be much better if you want to be cautious and protect your overall profitability for your business. So to make it start spending, make sure you test out different ad creatives. You do a lot of testing. Make sure you really get into the depths of who are your customer, what do they care about, and make sure you optimize your offers based on this to really make it appealing to people, because that's when your campaign is going to spend and you can start to scale while remaining profitable. Let me know down in the comments below which bid strategy you prefer for your business. And if you want to get the calculator that I used in this example, make sure you hit the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.